Hi, I'm Martin Kelly and I'm at Pathways 13 in Canberra. I'm with Jim Sprialis and he's representing Sonocent. Now, some of you might have heard about Sonocent. It's a really exciting app that's for note-taking. It's been around for a while, but it's something that I think universities are just catching on to. And Jim's here to tell us a bit more about it. Jim, can you tell us about the software and what it does?
Oh, thank you, Martin. Absolutely. Yes, you're right. It has been around for quite a while now, almost 10 years. It started in the UK to support students with dyslexia in higher education settings and moved on to the States. And it's only recently that Australian universities are starting to take note, and we've actually have some who are starting to use it as well. It's a rather unique program because we know note-taking is perhaps the number one key concern and issue for many students with learning difficulties. And research shows that the more effective your note-taking is, the better your grades will be. Unfortunately, note-taking is a very cognitively challenging process, and many students don't essentially capture everything because they're trying to do too much at the one time, as well as attentively listen to the lecturer. They're trying to consider key words, phrases, and jot down their notes and try and capture the essence of the information, and that cognitive demand impacts on the quality of notes for review and recall later on, and to build retention of learning. So Sonocent have taken a very unique approach to this, so that students can actually more actively listen and comprehend when they're listening to a lecture. What the technology does, whether you use the computer version or as you mentioned, there's an iOS and Android app companion with it. They're used to capture the lecture or tutorial, and as a matter of fact, it can capture live webinars, flipped learning content. So it's not just for live settings, but anywhere where there's spoken information that you want to synthesize. So the technology basically visualizes everything it hears, and it appears on the screen as long blue bars. And just like with reading, it comes with annotation tools, and you can start to immediately color code that spoken information as you're processing. So you can decide whether it's important information or it's something you're not clear about. Or perhaps it's something that's a task to come up for an assignment. So students are actually they're breaking down the note-taking process into smaller, more manageable parts cognitively. They can just listen more attentively, more active listening comprehension, annotate. After the lecture, they can then go back to their computer, review their notes, reconsider the information, change the annotation, and at a click of a button, they can extract out the highlight information that's the key part of that, say, 60-minute lecture. So when it comes to review time, they only have to review the key points. It might be 15 minutes of the lecture rather than an hour, or it could be 20. But that's really important to know that, because there's lots of research shown that when students with literacy challenges go back to prepare for assignments and exams, they go back and listen to an entire lecture recording, rather than go and strategically start to look at their summaries and notes.
And when you think about that, how many subjects are there that students are studying at university where they're told you will be examined on lecture content? So those subjects where students are kind of listening to every word, and those subjects that students perhaps find really difficult and that have a lot of detail, it's great to be able to do that.
Yes, it is. And I think I probably need to add now, it's a good time, that it's the name's a bit deceiving. It's not just a note-taking application. It's a total, I like to think of it as the final universal design Microsoft Office suite, because as well as putting in the recorded audio, you can import the lecturer's slides, you can add your text, you can add voice notes. And once all that's in that workspace, you can click various buttons and extract out that information to instantly produce a written assignment, maybe to produce podcasts, like mini study guides, so you can listen on the go on a mobile device. So it's actually a total workflow solution. So that's an important point to make, and I think it's a shame the name doesn't actually allude to that.
It is a really good app, a great piece of software, and I think the fact that it's very visual, it allows you to, in a way, see the audio in kind of blue bars, as Jim says, and you can chunk up the audio and match it to PowerPoint slides or other notes that you've written that you might have typed. When you think about that very visual and audio kind of manipulation that the software allows, it really fits in with the dual coding theory of learning. So it's got that edge to it, I think, too. Jim, anything else?
No, I'm really happy to be here at Pathways, and hopefully during the next 3 days, a lot of people can come and see us, and we can fully unpack the intricacies of the program.
Fantastic. And so if someone's not here at Pathways, how can they learn more about Sonocent?
They can go to the Australian landing page, so that would be sonocent.com/Australia, or if they just Google Sonocent, they'll certainly get to the homepage from there too.
And there's some very good videos that Sonocent have made that give you a fairly good idea about what the product does. So thanks very much, Jim, for talking to us today.
Thank you, Martin.